Hello, everybody. Just going to wait another minute or two for everybody to join, and then we'll get started with taking command for today. We're going to be talking about websites and landing pages. So we'll just hold on here for another minute. As always, remember to mute yourself, and also feel free to ask any questions in the chat, and I'll take a couple of breaks along the way to answer any questions. So if you have any immediate questions about landing pages or the website issues you've been having with the website, then go ahead and put those in the chat box. And we'll get started here in a minute. All right, well, it's a little bit after 1 o'clock, so we'll just go ahead and get started. This is Taking Command. We're going to be talking about the landing pages and websites today. And just as a reminder, as always, we do this class every week on Wednesdays from 1 to 2 p.m. It's a 1-hour class. And basically, we have 12 segments or sessions per quarter. And you can see here what we cover. Between myself and Renee, we're the two co-teachers of the Taking Command series. And basically, if you complete 12 classes, then you will get a certificate of completion. This applies to all 3 Pinellas County Chadwick Group Market Centers, so downtown, St. Pete Beach, and Seminole. In order to get credit, make sure that you are logged in to the Zoom for a minimum of 40 minutes. And if you do miss one of the sessions, we will be repeating all these sessions again next quarter. So if you miss, say, sessions 3 and 7, and you go back and take those sessions next quarter, then you would still get your completion certificate. So it kind of works just like Ignite does. I always like just kind of bringing this up, the MREA model and how command is, works within that model. And so if you see to the left, as a solo agent, prospecting and marketing turns into leads and that are captured, and then into contacts, and then you cultivate them, and then eventually go on appointments, active either contracts, go under contract, and then close. And so if you look to the right, the same lead generation model, you can see where the different parts of command interact. So command is more than just a CRM system or a contact system. And you can see here what we're going to focus on today is our sites, our website, and our landing pages, which is part of the prospecting and marketing to capture leads and turn them into contacts. So I'm going to jump off of here, and we're going to go right into command for today. So as you look down through the different modules that we've been going through, the last one is consumer. Now, I know some people, if they have their screen sort of zoomed in, sometimes you can't see consumer at the bottom, or if you're using a tablet. So what you can do is, if you go up in the top right hand corner where the little dots are, you can zoom in and out. So you may want to zoom to, like, say 90%, and then you'll be able to see that consumer tab there on your screen. So I know a few people have had that issue before. All right, so the module that we're going into today for landing pages and websites, it used to be called sites, but they renamed it consumer. And the idea here is that this is all of the things that are outward facing to the public. So our website is obviously outward facing to the public. The landing pages that we create are kind of like one-off websites for properties or communities. Those are out, something that you'd share with the public. And also our app the Keller Williams app, not the Kelly app. That's our sort of internal app to access command and all of the features in there. But our actual KW app is also a consumer facing app. And so all of those things are sort of created, designed, and kept in this area. So when you first click on the consumer tab, the first thing you see are the landing pages. And you can see some examples here of some landing pages I've created. I have one for Avon Drive, which is a listing of mine, MLK and Point Brittany. I also have one for the community for Broadwater. So just to kind of give you an idea of what this looks like, I'm going to click on the URL for Avon Drive and take a look at the landing page. And I'll show you here in a minute how to build one of these. But the idea is at the top, you have sort of a header. You can type whatever you want in this area here. So I wrote lovely 3-bed, 2-bath pool home. And then basically it's going to pull all of the photos and data from the listing in the KWLS. So square feet, beds, baths, my description. We have all the photos of the property here that people can look at, more details and features, a map showing where the property is located. And then at the very bottom, we always want to have some sort of lead capture. So in this case, I have something that says interested, let's talk. You can customize that as well. You could say something like, do you love this home? You know, schedule an appointment or get more information, whatever you want to say there. And the idea is that, of course, they fill out this lead form so we can capture them as a lead when they see this particular property. All right. So in order to create a landing page, it's very simple to do. You just go to the right-hand corner here and you say create a new site. When you click that, you have two options. One is on my agent site. So that would basically be a page that you're designing on your website. Okay, so we'll get into that in a minute. And I'll show you how you can create different pages on your website. Otherwise, we're creating just a standalone page, and that's what a landing page is. So that's what we'll select here. All right, so we start off with a blank template. First thing we want to do is rename what it's going to be. So in this case, I'm going to create a landing page for a listing of mine, which is at 464th Avenue, number 1202 West. So I'm going to name it that. So now we're going to start building it. So just like you saw in my example on Avon Drive, the first thing I did is I went over and I grabbed the widget for the brand. Okay, I'm going to grab that, drop it over here, and the branding. And in a minute here, you will see how we can then put a headline in here. The second thing we want to do is promote the listing. So same thing, we have a widget here for listings. So we're just going to drag that over. Notice that green line. The green line tells you where on the page it's going to be. So if I kind of drag it up here, it would have the listing and then the header, and that wouldn't be correct. So in this case, I'm going to drag it down and make sure that the green line is below my header, let go. And so now, for the moment, there's just kind of a placeholder for this random, home at 300 Hilltop View in Austin, Texas. In a minute, we're going to change that out to the actual listing. Last thing we're going to do is we're going to scroll down to the bottom. I'm going to X out this little thing about just telling you, once you're happy, blah, blah, blah. And the last thing was we want that lead form where we can capture leads. So once again, I'm going to grab the widget, drag it over, and make sure I kind of drag it to the bottom so that now when I scroll down, I have that widget with the lead capture form. All right. So now that we've got our three widgets and the flow of what our landing page is going to look like, now we need to edit the content of it. So over here in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a button that says, do you want to configure the widgets? So we're going to click that. And the first widget we want to configure is the branded header. All right. So that's this up here. So I've already got my photo uploaded, my name, my phone number, email address, my logo. So we're good to go there. The only thing I have left is the header text, right? So in this case, I'll say, something to the effect of waterfront condo with spectacular views of Gulf. Well, now you see what happened here is that you only have about 30 characters, so that was too long of a description, right? So I want to maybe reduce this description. I could just say waterfront condo with maybe great. Oh, still not enough characters, so you got to play around with it. View. All right. So once you make any edits to any of the widgets, make sure you always hit save and apply before you move on. So I saved it and applied it, and so now I've got that header up there, and I can move to the next widget. So you see up here, we've got one of three. This is number one of three widgets. So I'm going to hit the right arrow, and so now we're going to go to the next widget, which is for the listing. So we want to go find our listing. So in this case, my listing is at 464th Avenue. And when we pull it up, I see that like Garth Marsh has a listing there. Sydney Ladner has a listing there. There's a bunch of agents, there's a bunch of different agents that have listings at 464th. But unfortunately, I don't see my name and my listing in this list. So another way of finding it instead of the address is I'm going to look for the MLS number. All right. So I'm going to jump over here to the MLS, copy the MLS number, or you can type it in, whatever you prefer. And I'm going to put that in here and search for that. And here we go. Here's my listing, Drew Carlyle, all that. So I'm going to select that listing. So what it says is, okay, this is the listing, and then it'll ask you, which image do you want to be like the main header image? Well, in this case, I want it to be the front of the building. Now, if you have a different view, say of like the pool or something else that you want to use as the header view of one of your photos, and you can select one of those. But you can only select one. Now, like I showed you before, when they scroll further down, they'll be able to see all the photos, but this is just the main header photo when they first go on the landing page. So once again, I've done that. Now I'm going to save and apply. It's going to update, and now we've updated our header. We've got our main photo of the building. This is all of the accurate information and description about the building. We've got the rest of all the photos from it, the description, all that. And so now the last part is just this box here to capture leads. So I'm going to once again click the right arrow, and so in the form header box, instead of interested, let's talk, I may say want more info. And so once again, save and apply. And so now we've got all of our widgets. I'm going to scroll down here, and it says want more info. All right, so now that we've worked through all three widgets, we've saved them, we can now save the landing page or publish it. So I'm going to go ahead and publish the page and say yes. And so now we have a page for 464th Avenue. So if I click the link, that's an actual web link. So that's something if you want to send out to your client so that they can show off their condo and the listing to other people, this is a great way to do it. Now notice when you send that link, it's pages.kw.com, blah, blah, blah. We can't do anything about that part of it, but we can change this part of it. So what I'm going to show you here is that if we go back in, and now we can change the URL, and we'll change it to, let's call it 3 Palms Point. So it's a little bit of a cleaner URL. So now when you click on it, it still has the pages.kw, Drew Carlyle, all that you can't get rid of, but at least it says 3 Palms Point. It's not just a bunch of letters and numbers and kind of a bunch of gibberish. So this is great. You can just take this link, you can post it in Facebook to share it out. You could, put it on flyers, whatever you want to do. Send it to clients, send it to the sellers so that they have a web link that they can share out, whatever you want to do. So now you basically have a dedicated site for your listings. And so that's the idea for landing pages. Also, we're going to be getting into campaigns. And when you create, like, say, a Facebook or Instagram campaign, one of the steps along the way is that when somebody clicks on your ad on Facebook, the first thing is they're going to fill out one of those lead forms so we can capture their information. But then it'll ask you, is there a website that you want them to go to after they fill out their info? And you can direct it to one of these landing pages so that people feel like, okay, hey, I'm looking at this ad on Facebook. I want more information or look at photos of this property. Okay, well, they click on the link. First thing is they're forced to fill out this form with their name and email address and all that. But then from there, it automatically takes them to this landing page so that they can actually see the photos and see all the information on the property. So if you are going to do Facebook, Instagram, Twitter type paid campaigns in the system, the first step you want to do before you start a campaign is to build one of these landing pages. All right. So that's the landing pages. The next part is agent site pages. And so I know that's what a lot of you are coming here today, is to help build your website. Let me just first show you some examples of what a finished website looks like. So this is my website, which is ourhometeamsuncoast.kw.com. So all of your websites, when you build it out, are going to kind of look like this. You're going to have the office logo up in the corner. You're going to have your team logo. You're going to have a drop-down box that will have things about you and your team and the client reviews and blogs, contact us, so on and so forth. And I'm going to get into all of that on how you build all these out. This is also where your clients and customers can log in and set up their own searches and search for properties and save for properties and interact with you. So if they see a property they like, they can click on it and notify you through the Kelly app and through command that they're interested in a specific property. They can create co-accounts with their spouse or partner where they can share properties back and forth with each other. So when they're searching, they can say, hey, what do you think about this property? That type of thing. And then you noticed as I've been talking that the photos in the background change out. You have the ability to put it on basically this sort of slideshow of 5 photos. So you want to go out and find some good photos either you've taken or your photographer's taken, or some stock images like we have here, that kind of give it out. As you can see, I kind of have a beach vibe going on because we're on the beaches here. So, I've got an example of a home on the beach and the hammock, and a shot of the Don Cesar, things like that. And then, of course, like all the web pages are going to have a lead capture form, all of your contact information, links to Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all of that. And I'll show you how you can load all this in and build your website very quickly. So besides the main homepage here, we've got sort of the sub pages. So in this case, the first one's Meet Drew Carlyle. So meet me. So I've got a little resume here about me and my background, so on and so forth. And then I've got one, a page about our team. So if any of you out there are on a team or a rainmaker on a team, then you can easily build a page that kind of highlights or spotlights each person on your team. Got a little company profile here, just talking more about our team, our accomplishments, our mission, things like that. And then this is a really important one, client reviews. So you see here, I've got reviews from my clients, and I'll show you here in a little bit. You notice kind of over here to the right, the Zillow logo. Well, these are clients of mine who actually wrote a review about me on Zillow, and I was able to port those in through a company called reviewsonmywebsite.com. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. But then it also allows for your clients and customers to leave a review for you right on your website. Another thing I've done, which is pretty cool, some people thought was a good idea. I haven't seen a lot of agents do this. I've looked at a lot of Keller Williams agents' websites, is I took my listing PowerPoint presentation, which I save in Google Drive, and basically formatted it into my website. So this is my actual listing presentations. I call it my 2020 guide to selling your home. And people can actually scroll through and see my actual listing presentation. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing. So that when people go on my website, they can view my listing presentation, or let's say I'm lead generating and prospecting, and somebody says, well, I want to get some more information about you. You can point them to your website and say, hey, check out my guide to selling your home and my reviews, and point them to your website. Now they've already looked at your listing presentation ahead of time, so you don't have to spend a lot of time on that when you go on a listing appointment. I've got something here on mortgage information. So it's a little blurb about Keller Mortgage, and it's got a video about the 0+ Keller Mortgage program, and a little mortgage calculator. And I'm going to show you how you can put a mortgage calculator on your website. Now this is unique to me, but since I do rental and property management, I basically embedded the Suburban Tampa Rentals rental website in my website, so I can direct people to my website and they can go and look at rental properties that we have available. So that's sort of unique to me, but I'm just showing you the different options and things you can do with the website. This is important, the blog, right? A lot of people go to your website and they want good content and good information. Well, through the power of HomeKeeper, you can have a blog with different categories. This is painting, general, buying, cleaning, landscaping. And so if people go to this blog, this is up-to-date content. I mean, look at the dates. This was published April 2nd, April 6th, April 9th, April 20th. I didn't write any of these, HomeKeeper did. But the cool thing is that if somebody wants to read, like, let's say this article about painting, and they click on the blog, now it does redirect to HomeKeeper, but notice that when they go to the HomeKeeper website to read the article, it's all branded with my info, my photo, my phone number, email address, all of that is still branded to me. So, the death of a website is if you start putting links on a website that take them to some other random website, and then they go down the rabbit hole there and never return back to your website. At least in this case, they can go read the article. My information is right here. They get to the bottom, and then they say, oh, here's another article on paint disposal. I want to read that article. They start going down the rabbit hole, but notice, once again, it's all branded to me. It looks like it's published by me. It's my content, my information, my recommendations, all of that are here on the blog site. Okay. What else do we have? Oh, download my KW app. Obviously, we want something to get the consumers to download your app, so we can develop a little site here to get them to download the app. They just click the link. It takes them straight to the download. Ideally, if they're on their Apple phone or their Android phone, they can download right from the Play Store. And last but not least, contact us. And then, of course, we have links directly to our Facebook page, LinkedIn page, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter pages. So that's just an example of what I've done on my website and the content that people can get from there. I just wanted to jump over. This is a great example of another website somebody did. This is Patty Jackson and Associates up in Atlanta. Same sort of, you see the photos scrolling through, kind of the same exact sort of layout. You saw all of your websites are going to look like this. So same look and feel. However, when you hit the drop downs, what they did is that they did, a little blurb about Patty Jackson and Associates, just kind of about us and our mission statement, where they're located, that type of thing. And then some info about Patty specifically and some information about Kevin specifically. And then they did the testimonials, kind of same thing. I think they use a different type of website, but same thing. They've got a lot of testimonials in here. They use the same exact widget I did to create the search app page that you saw on mine. Now here's where it's a little bit different, different things that you could think about for content for your website. One is a home evaluation form. Now this gets a little bit complicated and tricky because you actually have to build a Google form to do this. So basically you see here, the idea is somebody fills in information about their property and then submits it. And then basically the idea is to capture their info so that they can do a free home evaluation for somebody. Their mortgage calculator looks a little bit different. It's a nice little format. You can go in, type in, how much the home value is, how you're going to put down in a down payment, let's say 10%, and interest rate. And you can just play around with it, and it immediately recalculates what your payments are and the breakdown of those payments. So that's pretty cool. I'll show you how to do that. They use the same blog as I do from Homekeeper. You see that? And then contact us. So just a couple examples between my website and like Patty Jackson's website as to what things look like and how you can build your website out. All right. So let's get back over here to the agent site pages. So what we want to do is obviously get our site set up and configure our site. So if you saw what I did there, we're under agent site pages. You click the configure your site button. It says, before you begin, what provider would you like to use for your sites? So you want to say, I want to use the new KW agent sites, and we're going to go to the guide builder. Or if you have a Playster site in place and you want to keep using that and continue to pay for Playster, you can select, I have a paid Playster account and would like to keep using it with my KW subdomain. And then you can go through that guide. And then they have a thing where you can explore other options with the marketplace, which is essentially getting somebody to design your website for you and not using command. But for most of you guys, in this case, you're going to want to use the new KW agent site. So you're going to select that, hit submit. And so now we've gone into our Kelly guide, which is going to walk us through first setting up our subdomain, choosing our style and theme, putting in the content, and so forth. So we're just going to go down here and say get started. There's a little compliance reminder thing about logos and statements and complying with laws and local boards and all that. So acknowledge and continue. So the first step is it's going to ask you what you want your subdomain to be. So in this case, I have selected Our Home Team Suncoast for my domain. So if you're following along with me right now, you may just type in your name. It could be like drewcarlyle.kw.com. And then what you'll want to do is confirm the domain and make sure that somebody else doesn't have it. So, unfortunately, if your name is John Smith, then that domain may already be taken. So you may want to figure out something else for your website name. So you'll type something in there for your subdomain and confirm it, and then it'll let you know if it's already been taken or not. All right. And then the next step below it is your marketing profile information. So if this isn't already filled in, you'll want to take a moment to put in your name, your market center or brokerage. Mine is St. Pete Beach, Corey Avenue. Now notice I can't change the St. Pete Beach. It already recognizes what market center you're from. Unfortunately for all of us on the beach, it says St. Pete Beach when truly the name of our market center is Gulf Beaches of Pinellas. Unfortunately, we can't change that there. It's something on a higher level. At some point, maybe that'll get fixed. But just know that that's the only option for now is St. Pete Beach. We go ahead and put in the address, the name of your team or business name if you have one, your professional job title. I just have realtor, email address, your office number, and your mobile number. And then hopefully you've written a biography at some point. So you'll want to copy and paste that in there. And I know I'm going quick today because we have a lot to cover. So obviously you may need to go back and get all this information filled out as you go. Get your license number. If you have your brokerage license number, put that in. And then we don't really have any requirements for compliance footers on our website. It already automatically puts things on like each Keller Williams office is independently owned and operated, equal housing opportunity. All the big ones are already there, so we don't have to worry about it. In our area, I don't believe, or I've asked the brokers, and they haven't suggested that we need any other additional content for our legal footers for our area. Last but not least, you want to upload your profile picture. I know that this can be a little bit picky about the sizing, so you may have to resize your photo. The same with your market center brokerage logo and your team logo if you have one. And then last but not least, you want to go find all of your social media links. So Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and your KW app link, all right? And you'll want to fill those out so that when people go on the website, they'll have the links to your different social media, okay? So once you get that all filled in, and like I said, you may have to go back and do this later, you would hit save and continue. Then there's this thing where you can choose between a red and a black theme, or dark theme. It really doesn't make that much of a difference. On that main page you saw, I wrote, let your home search begin. Whatever you want to say is your homepage text. You can put that in. You can upload what they call a homepage hero image. And that's what those 5 photos you saw scrolling through from earlier work. So you can upload those 5 images here so that you'll have that rolling slideshow. If you just want to do one, that's fine. Or if you only have 2 or 3, that's fine, but they allow up to 5. So I have all 5 set up for what they call the hero image, which was that slideshow image that we saw earlier. Next, click save and continue. And then this is the part where we're going to start putting in information about your business. So this is sort of the about us section of things. So this is whatever you want to call it, company profile, or call it our home team. Choose what your slug is. It could be about us or about our team. It'll show you kind of the navigation here. You can have the company profile, about me, and contact us. Search engine optimization. A lot of people have questions about this. Basically, what you want is kind of just a simple sentence or 2 that describes what this page is about. So, you could just write something like, this is a, or something about, this is our home team at Keller Williams Suncoast, or Gulf Beaches of Pinellas. We serve the Pinellas County area, something like that. And then content, this is where you set up kind of the headers, information. So you can put in information like a little intro paragraph about your team. Then the header headline, this could be like your mission statement and what your mission is. You can change out these photos. You could have something like, I saw some people, they have something about the Y4 C2Ts. And then they put in an image of what the Y4 C2Ts are. whatever you want to do there, sort of what's your company or your business's main sort of profile, goal, so on and so forth, right? So you fill that in. Then the next part is about me. So this is specifically about you. Same thing, or you could say about Drew Carlyle, or meet Drew Carlyle, I think is what I wrote on mine. Same thing, put in the description, and then content is your biography about yourself, your contact information, so on and so forth. And then the last step is contact us. So very simple, just whatever you want it to say, contact us, give us a ring, drop us a line. We'd love to work with you. And then a little message in there, so on and so forth. So you go through each one of those steps, and that will be the kind of basis of building your website. That all saves. I'm going to go back so I don't mess anything up that I've spent all this time on. So in any case, so that's basically how you design your website. So it turns out sort of like what you saw before with my website. All right, I'm going to skip back into command here. Get down to sites. And so that was sort of the guide, the first step to it. So now when you go to agent site pages, once you kind of design that, you're going to have things about, or I have meet the team, but it's like about us. Down here, about us, about me, and contact us once you've configured all of that. Okay, those are the pages I've created. We can go over here to site and app settings and kind of work on the same things we just did before. So here, once again, those 5 hero images, you can, under site and app settings, delete those, change them out, change out that sort of hero text is what they call it. The URLs, like we did before with our home team, suncoast.kw.com. And then here is your hero text or your app text. If you ever want to share out your app with anybody, is right here for you to copy and paste, say, onto Facebook or any other places you want to promote and share your KW app. All right. Featured listings is coming soon. There's kind of a glitch on it right now, but a lot of people said, well, how come we don't have featured listings on our website? Well, they're working on that now, and it'll be coming soon. I'll let you guys know when that comes about. That theme that we talked about before, between like the red and the dark theme, you can toggle and update the theme here. Like I said, not much of a difference. I think the red one looks better. And then lastly is all of our site pages. All right. So I'll take a quick break here. Chuck asked, how can you formulate pics so that they look right? So yeah, I know that's been an issue for a lot of people. So a lot of times they'll tell you, like, for example, for that logo, it'll say it needs to be 360 by 360. You can take your photo and go into even something as simple as Microsoft Paint or another photo editor and resize the photo. And a lot of photo editors will let you resize based on pixels. So you can type in 360 by 360 pixel, save that as like a revised version of your logo or your image, and then try to load it in that way. So in any case, it's just a sizing thing. I think they've fixed it a little bit so that they can now take larger photos and compress them down. So it's not as much of an issue as it was in the past. So Chuck, maybe you can go back on and try that again. I don't know if you tried to do it just now or if that was an issue you had in the past. All right, so how do we build different agent site pages for our website. Well, same thing we did just like for a landing page. You go up here to the top right-hand corner and say, create a new site page. On this case, now we're going to select on my agent site. So we're going to say we're going to create a page. And it works a lot like what we did before with the landing page. First thing is that you want to label it. So let's say we want to do that blog, that Homekeeper blog. So maybe we'll just name this site page blog. All right. Now, if you go back to my website and we look at our blog, the way we have it formatted is it just goes straight into the blog. Now, if you want to have a header at the top, great, but you certainly want to have the contact form below. So let's do it that way. So let's start off with a widget, and there's different widgets you can select here. And in this case, we are going to take a content block, and this is what you're going to do whenever you put in coding of any kind. So in this case, we're going to take a text block. We're going to insert our text there. Then for the widgets, we're going to put in that contact form. All right. I want to go ahead and configure the widgets. It's the contact form. You can say contact us or want more info, and save and apply. You have the option of saving between your office phone number or your cell phone. So I'm going to change that to my cell phone. So I'm going to save and apply that widget. Now, how do we get that blog to show up from Homekeeper? All right. So what you want to do is go to homekeeper.com/KW. As a Keller Williams agent, we have a free subscription to Homekeeper for pros. All right. So all you'll do is put in your name, try to use your KW email address and your password, and you can start building your profile on Homekeeper. All right. So I've already done that. So I'm going to just sign in to Homekeeper. And the first thing you want to do so that you have that branded content, all right, is click on My Info and make sure you've loaded up your photo, your contact information, all of that, your company name, and let's see, the company logo has kind of this old KW logo. If I wanted to, I could change that out to say a different logo, like you know, our Keller Williams. Let's see, upload new logo, and I could grab the Keller Williams Gulf Beaches logo, maybe take that square red one there, and let's see here. Let's see if I can format this. It looks like the formatting, maybe we have to zoom out to get it to fit. And you could put in, you know, that logo instead and swap it out. So do whatever you need to do as far as, and it's association, that must be new. Let's see here. Oh, should have gone down this path. I don't see Mid-Florida region. Oh, well, all right, I'll just go back on this, but you get the idea there. So build your content. And so from there, what you want to do is now when you go back to your dashboard, you'll see this option here where it says embed widget. So you click on that, and there's two different options, either JavaScript or iframe. Everything on our website is built through iframe, okay? So you want to copy that code, the iframe code. And so now where we had that text from before, we're going to delete out that text and then paste that iframe information. Now watch this. When I click it quickly about 3 times, it now has the blog thing here. Now, it doesn't look exactly right at the moment. I believe you have to format it. Oh yeah, we have to put in our zip code. So I'll put in 33706, search. Oh, well, that's to find specific professionals. I haven't done this in a while, but I believe that that should keep it. So we're gonna save changes. Yes. And so now we've created a new website called blog, right? But notice that it's grayed out. It says not available for viewing at the set. It says it's not an active subpage. Well, we need to activate that subpage. All right. So what we do is we go to the site and app settings and then go to site pages. And this is where you add a new page. So if I wanted to add a new page, I would select which page I want, which is called blog, and hit continue. And then what's the name of this page? Well, I'm going to call it blog. The URL slug we'll call blog as well. So notice the slug is ourhometeamsuncoast.com / or / blog. It's whatever you call it. SEO description could be real information from our home team, Keller Williams Realty, about blah, 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 different subjects. So basically you do that, select that, and then you save page changes. And if I did that, then I would have a new thing on my website called blog that would have that Homekeeper blog. And obviously, I'm not going to do that. I've already gotten this all set up, but I'm just showing you the steps of what you do. All right. So that's how you add a blog from Homekeeper onto your website. All right. Let's go to the next example of how you create like a mortgage calculator. That's a pretty simple one. Once again, same steps as we did before. Create a new site on my agent site, create page. I'm going to call this mortgage calculator. Same thing as before. We're going to grab a content block for text to put in our code. And you always have to have a widget. So we're going to have the contact form underneath. I'm going to configure the widget, make sure that the contact us, and whatever you want to write there. Once again, pick your phone number, save and apply. And so in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the website mortgagecalculator.org. Make sure you go to .org and not .com. All right. And in this case, you go to mortgagecalculator.org. It's a free site. You don't have to pay for anything, nothing like that. And you'll see here, it has a little thing that says widgets. All right. And we're going to select the full page calculator. All right. Which is basically going to kind of look like this, what we saw before. Right. So full page calculator. First thing it says is you can set default values. So every time somebody goes onto your website, what's it kind of just defaulted at? Now, obviously, they can go in and change it and play with it however they want, but we could change it to home value 300,000, down payment 50,000, whatever you want to do. So maybe you say, okay, let's assume that they're going to put 20% down. So let's change the down payment to 60,000. So that means that the loan amount would be like 240. Loan term 30 years, property tax is okay, that seems to be all right, so on and so forth. Do whatever you want, and then here is your code that you're going to need, right? So this is what the calculator is going to look like. So we're just going to copy to clipboard the code again, jump back over, right in that text box like we did before. We're going to paste that code. I'm going to hit enter or tap on it about 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Oh, didn't want to convert. Oh, there we go. All right, I had to click out. So there we go. Here's the mortgage calculator, all the fun information, the contact us form. Great. Save changes. Yes. Now we have our mortgage calculator. Same thing as before. We would go to our site and app settings. site pages, say we want to add a page, select the mortgage calculator, continue. What's it going to be called? Mortgage calculator, slug, mortgage if I can spell, calculator, any other SEO description that you want. I'm going to go ahead and add this one just to show you how it goes. So save page changes. It was updated. So now I have my mortgage calculator, but I don't want it all the way down here under contact us. I've spent a lot of time kind of thinking about the flow of the drop down. So I'd probably want to scroll this up. We've got mortgage information and then mortgage calculator. So I want it to be in that order. So I'm going to save page changes. So now when I go back and I refresh the Our Home Team website, now I have the mortgage calculator there. All right, so it was as simple as that, just copying that code, putting it in here. Now I have a really cool, slick looking mortgage calculator that essentially, just like we said on those defaults, 300,000, 20% down, loan amount, so on and so forth. And then they can go in and play with this, change it to say 500,000 with 20% down. What's my payment going to be? What's my loan amount going to be? Interest rate, let's say it's 3.25. And you see how it keeps updating and changing all of those things, right, as you go along. So pretty easy. All right, let me take a quick pause. A couple other questions. Let's see. Renee told us about the Homekeeper. Greg asked, do you do this for each article or blog? No, I mean, Greg, the idea here is that when they go onto the website and they go to my blog, Homekeeper is writing this content and updating it. Look at, every couple of days. Looks like every 3 to 4 days, they're writing different articles in different categories about painting, general, buying, landscaping, cleaning, home improvement. Homekeeper is writing these articles, providing all that content, and it automatically updates. So I guarantee you, let's see, the last one was May 11th, and it looks like they update every 3 to 4 days. Probably if you go on my website tomorrow or the next day, there's going to be a new blog post here for May 14th. I said it, it's like set it and forget it. So hopefully that answers your question there, Greg, on the content for the blog. All right. Let's see. Another example is we talked about the mortgage calculator. There's one for schools, right? So if you wanted information, school information, right? Same thing we've gone through before. We create a new site on my agent site. And in this case, we call it school info. Same thing we keep doing. We're going to go to the content block, grab a text block, grab our contact form widget, configure the widget, okay, blah, 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 change the phone number, save and apply. And then if you go to greatschools.org/widget, all right, it gives you the coding for the widget. So you just select a zip code, a city or a state. So we could put in like 33706. Says enter in your email address, Drew Carlyle at kw.com. Enter the website URL. This widget's going to be hosted. So my URL is the HTTPS, our home team, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to copy and paste that there. Agree to the terms of service, get the widget code. There it is. We'll just copy that. Same thing. Replace the text with that widget code. And it'll update, hopefully. There we go. Now we've got the map with the schools. It'll list all the schools in the area. They can search for a specific school, all that type of stuff. save and apply, save changes, yes. Same thing as before. Site and app settings, go to your site pages, add a page, school info, continue, school info, slug, school info. Make sure your slugs are always one word. You can't have spaces or anything like that. Am I spelling school wrong? Probably. Whatever. And save page changes, and then I can scroll this up. You know, maybe I have school info under mortgage stuff. Save page changes. Now, if I refresh my website, now under the drop down, I have school info live on my website, as quick and easy as that. All right. Real quick, I'm going to try to do this. I know we only got about 5 minutes left. A couple other quick examples of easy things to do. Create a new site on your site. If you want the testimonials, right? You have an option here of a couple things. You can either have a carousel like this of testimonials, or you can have a list of testimonials. So people, you can scroll through, but all you have to do is grab that, save it, same thing that we did before. So you can grab your testimonials that way. The KW app, really easy on that one too. Create a new site on my agent site, create page. All you got to do is grab the download my app widget, configure the widget, make sure everything is okay, or if you want to read, it already puts your direct app URL there. You just click save and apply. Bam, now you've created a page for your KW app. You just save it and then go through that same thing, site and app, go to site pages, add a new page, select the app, so on and so forth, just like we've been doing over and over again. All right. Sam asked, can I add past testimonials? Yes, great question. So if you notice on my website, and I showed this earlier, when you go down to my client reviews, you see how it's pulling older reviews, like even from 2019 from reviewsonmywebsite.com. All right. If you go to this site, go to reviewsonmywebsite.com, sign up for it, or in this case, I'm going to log in really quickly. All you have to do is when you set up your profile, your account, I believe it's under settings. Well, maybe it's not under settings, but oh, connections, I'm sorry. It will ask you, where do you want to get reviews from? And you can select different things. So if you've gotten people to write reviews for you on Google, Facebook, Yelp, Thumbtack, Home Advisor, so on and so forth, you can connect those and it'll bring in all of the reviews. Now, notice that it has a little lock under the connect button. Well, the problem is that with the free account, you can only connect one source, all right, either Zillow or Facebook, Google, Yelp, whatever, for free, and it'll only display, if you saw on my website, 5 reviews at a time. Now, they are the 5 most recent reviews. Well, I always get my clients to go to Zillow, so that's the one I decided to connect. Now, for only a few dollars a month, you can upgrade your account, and you see here, for only $5 a month, you can have unlimited reviews on your website. There'll be a list, and you can customize things, so on and so forth. And then you can collect reviews. There's all kinds of things where you can upgrade. So I'm just using the free one for now. And like I said, I did the connection to Zillow, and it's bringing in the 5 most recent reviews I've had on Zillow. but also on here I have the thing where they can leave a review as well. So same thing we've done over and over again is when you go, I believe, to the dashboard, there's somewhere on here where you can, oh, here it is, widgets. So here's the widget. You basically can say, create the widget. Whoops. Well, if you do it, you get the code, right? Same thing, you copy and paste the code into a text box, just like we've done on all the other ones, okay? So I know that was a lot of information. This is yet another module or segment of the command series where we could literally spend an hour and a half to even 3 hours doing all this. So I know I went through it quick, but what I wanted to do is just point out, I'm gonna scroll through here real quick, 2 things. One, before all you guys jump off, if you don't want to go through all this, this is all over your head or whatever, there's a lot of things out there, people who will design your website for you. Remember, we have Scott Leroy, right? They will help you get the basics going on your website. Same with Michael Trithart. A lot of you guys know about him. There's a few other people out there now that literally created companies all around designing websites for you, and you can pay them to do it. I haven't looked into pricing on any of these, but a couple of options are agentoperations.net, crochetconsulting.com, and ballinbrands.com. Basically, they're kind of a KW command website builder. So if you want to go to one of them and help them build your pages, do that if this is a little bit over your head and we went too fast. Secondly, I learned how to do all this stuff by watching YouTube videos. And we've mentioned a few of these people before. So if you go to YouTube, look up Jay Cermak, trainer extraordinaire, Nick Baldwin. That example of the other website I was showing you from Jackson and Associates up in Atlanta, that guy has created all kinds of videos showing how he created like the school thing and the branded blog post and all that. Lori Ballin out of Las Vegas, Lori Ballin at your command, and John Morris. Those are all great people who have done some really good, and I think, yeah, Renee mentioned Marty Miller, so there, and Kevin Jackson. There are some great people out there who've gone into real good content on how to build your website on these YouTube video tutorials. And the great thing is you watch it for a minute, you pause, you go, you do whatever you need to do, go back, you know, copy this, copy that. So just play, pause, and it makes it really simple for you to, you know, follow along. So in any case, that's it for this week with Taking Command. As always, yeah, we're doing this every week, Wednesdays from 1 to 2 p.m. Renee is going to be taking back over starting next week with campaigns, and then smart plans the following week. Sorry, and then I'll be back for reports and goals and referrals. And finally, we're going to wrap it up for the quarter with the app and marketplace. So thank you guys very much, and we will see you again next week from 1 to 2 p.m. All right, take care.